Hey everyone, I'm here for our first presentation on Flipgrid for the content of our course, and we are going to start with spirituality. So I'm jumping right in. What is it, right? I am planning on trying to present stuff in a new way, ways that you typically might not have experienced it before. Um, and so if I were to suggest, hey, are you a spiritual person? Most of you would be like, "Oh, let's see, I don't really go to church. I know I pray once in a while, maybe," and that's that. And so most people are like, "Well, I guess I'm not spiritual," but I guess I want to redefine that, and I want to say that spirituality is the way we understand our spirit, right? It is if we're looking at it. Well, what is a spirit, right? That would be the next question. Um, and I think I want to go to the idea of like a football game, right? You look up at a crowd and they're going crazy, and you see like, hey, that crowd has a lot of spirit, and you wouldn't doubt that. You'd be like, yeah, they do. Well, what is it that you're agreeing that the crowd has? It's this kind of energy, right? And we typically call that spirit, right? And so our spirit is that part of us that's more than our bodies. It's this energy, and it's made up of our moral beliefs, the information and wisdom we've acquired, all of our relationships. All of that makes up our spirit. Some equate this spirit to our soul, right? They kind of like bounce that between those two words. Now, being spiritual is more than just being religious. And here's my definition of spirituality. Spirituality is the effort and energy we use to positively interact in the world. No, no, where's the Jesus-y language there? Where's the religious-y language? It's just not there, right? And so if you ask that again, are you spiritual? And you go by this definition, do I put effort and energy into my day to positively interact in the world? Most of us, unless we're looking to hurt people, are going to say yes. Like we want people to be friends with us. We wake up and we want to improve our relationships or our knowledge about life and about our um, what topics we want to study for a major, whatever. As long as we are improving ourselves, putting in that effort and energy to be a better person and to be more connected to other people, then we're being spiritual, and that includes everything, right? So I've got this picture here above me of these soccer players, and one guy helping up another. He's literally being spiritual there. Now, one important rule here is that spirituality is always constructive and never destructive in our relationship with others. I think that's really important and almost essential to have. Move me out of the way here. Um, Many people go to organized religions without applying the principles taught. Right, so there are people who are religious who are not spiritual, and then there are some religions actually prevent or inhibit spiritual growth. They teach hatred, and that certainly wouldn't be spiritual at all. So let's see. Next slide. We're talking about science and spirituality. Many people believe that these two things contradict each other. And the guy above me there, he is maybe the guy down the hall from you in your dorm. I say, look, do you believe in science or religion? And expecting you to either pick one, right? So if you believe in science, then I guess you can't believe in religion or you can't believe in spirituality. And that's just not true, right? Um, Spirituality, this is a false choice, and they're not opposite of one another. I want to tell you a parable or like an analogy here. So I'm walking through the woods with my brother, and we're going hunting or something like that, and we come upon this chair, that chair nope, over there, um, where it is in the middle of the woods. And my brother says to me, "Well, what is that?" And I go over and I sit on it and I look at it and feel how strong it is. And I say, "Well, I think it's a chair." My brother calls me an idiot and says, "Well, like, that's not what I mean." What he really was asking, well, why is it there? Why is this orange chair in the middle of the woods? And then I say, well, oh yeah, this must be one of those chairs from, maybe there was some some education relief where they're putting all kind of school supplies together for people in Puerto Rico, and they flew it from Toronto in this big old plane, and somebody bumped the button, and there are school supplies over 3 states, right? Maybe this is one of those chairs. So you had two things there. You had the what. What is it? It is a chair. I wasn't wrong. But at the same point, he was asking why. And those are two questions that are in some way known as the twin brothers of what and why. Science and spirituality, they help inform one another. They don't contradict one another, or you have to choose which one is the right answer, what or why. No, they both go hand in hand. And so, to the guy up there asking, "Do you believe in science or religion?" It's okay to say both, because both inform us. They help us to understand, well, what is a thing? What are we? What is? But then there's the why. Why are we here? What are we doing? What is our purpose? What is our meaning? What is our value? So that's a really interesting part of that. Continuing on with that, science deals with things that we can measure, such as things like taste, feel, see, smell. Some scientists discount spirituality and just equate it with superstition. Actually, most scientists don't see a conflict between science and spirituality, and we don't either. Our position is that um, the truth will eventually uphold by scientific scrutiny. If there is something in religion or spirituality that is that contradicts to science, and we know in science it is a thing, then we should always side with science, said the religion teacher. And we should, and then what happens is that that spiritual understanding needs to find its home within a spiritual under within the scientific understanding. We have countless examples of this, where science informs a new way of looking at us and the world. Think about Galileo, and thought that the Earth revolved around the sun, and the church was against that and gave him trouble, and that was a whole thing. And so, and then the church had to come to an understanding that that was actually the facts, and that happens all the time. And so, if we're doing it right, we're allowing science to help expand our spirituality. And a lot of people say, well, oh, well, it doesn't expand it. It just takes away all of the, you know what? This is kind of cool. I'm going to move me over so I'm that guy sitting in the, there you go. See, that's me. Um, if science eliminates all of the spiritual um, thoughts, then it's making my spirituality less. And I have to disagree with that. What I want to say is that, like the soccer mom, right? Say you're starting out learning about football. And first, you watch football and you see like a bunch of guys just running into each other, right? You don't know a whole lot about the details or the science of the game. But then as you watch it more, and maybe you pick up a book and you read about it, you learn and learn and learn and learn, and you come to the spot where you suddenly know a whole lot about football. And now all of a sudden, you know the difference between a cover two defense or 3-4 defense, and you're able to kind of put that all together. And now you know more, and you get into the head of the coaches and their game plans, and different coaches have different ways of. So the more you knew scientifically, the more you were able to even appreciate the value of football. And in the same sense, the more we know about science, the more it blows our minds that the world is the way it is, and that how complex it is, and how pretty freaking cool our world is. On to the next video.